What is up, guys? Welcome back. So today I want to talk about why checking your vitals is holding you back from anxiety recovery. Keywords: anxiety recovery. If you are fine with managing your anxiety and you don't mind having to rely on checking vitals for the rest of your life, then all the power to you, and fair enough. For a few of you, I know that gives you a little bit of peace, a little bit of reassurance to see that your vitals are where they need to be. But we got to be real. If you want to recover 100%, we shouldn't have to do that to feel good, right? And it obviously means that we still have some fear and some unresolved issues. So nothing wrong with managing your anxiety. There's nothing wrong with that at all. That's not what I'm trying to say. But a lot of people that watch me, a lot of people, or just about everybody that does coaching with me or gets my course, is wanting anxiety recovery. So I'm here to speak the truth. I don't want to sugarcoat anything. I think checking your vitals, even if it's on a few occasions, is holding you back, and that you will never get to that full 100% if you continue to do it, especially for my health anxiety folks. But I know everybody, no matter what disorder you go through, we go through a period of time where we're kind of checking our pulse to see where we're at. We're checking our blood pressure. A lot of people check their oxygen levels. Some people check their blood sugar levels all the time due to their anxiety. And we think that we're doing ourselves a service. We think that we're protecting ourselves, right? And for some of you, you feel like you're giving yourself some moments of peace. But all we're doing is we're telling our subconscious that we're still afraid. We are telling our subconscious that there may be a problem with our heart. We are telling our subconscious, that we are unsure and that we need to check, right? Therefore, your subconscious doesn't have full faith in you whenever you say that you accept anxiety for what it is, that you are healthy. Your subconscious doesn't really believe you too much when you try to say positive things, because you're sending this message to your subconscious that things could be wrong still, right? And that's what message is being broadcasted when you check your vitals, right? Would a recovered person need to check their vitals? No. Would a healthy person need to be checking their vitals as often as you? No, right? So we have to actually recover consciously before we recover subconsciously, if that makes sense. Consciously, you have to be doing everything right for a significant amount of time. Then your subconscious buys in, and then that's how the rewiring process happens. It's basically habit building. Your subconscious is watching everything that you do, including whenever you look at your pulse monitor, whether that be on your watch, or some of you have the finger pulse thing, or what your blood pressure machine says. And guys, I didn't have those things back then, thank God. But I would check my pulse with my fingers, either on my neck or my wrist. And believe it or not, I got so sensitive at some points that I could actually tell you what my pulse was just by feeling the beats in my chest. Believe it or not. I know it sounds crazy, but trust me. But I was checking my heart rate, all throughout the day. God, like 20 to 50 times, I got so good that I would play it off and kind of hide it, where people wouldn't notice. But I mean, I was doing, God, maybe close to 100 times a day. And that's why I'm happy I didn't have one of those watches. I would have been looking at it all the time. And my heart rate was always high, because of my anxiety. Even at rest, my heart rate would be anywhere from 90, 95 to 120. And of course, whenever I would have panic attacks and stuff, it'd jump up to 140, 150 plus, all the way up to 180, 190. So my heart rate was always elevated. So for me, I was never really happy when I checked anyways. It was just very, very triggering for me. 9 times out of 10, probably 9.9 times out of 10, I was triggered by checking my heart rate. So it didn't make sense for me to continue just for that reason. The same thing with my blood pressure. My blood pressure was elevated, and this was during the beginning of my heart anxiety, health anxiety period. Where I was just primarily focused on the heart. I was afraid that I was having heart attacks. I didn't have acceptance that this was anxiety instead of a heart problem, right? So I tried to use these numbers as proof that there was something wrong, to either explain this to my friends, my family, my doctors, the emergency room people, whatever I could to get them to take me seriously. So the blood pressure thing, I didn't have a blood pressure machine. Again, thank God. The few times I got a hold of my mom's, I took it all day. Right? And I talked to many people. I have a lot of clients that have just had these machines, and they sit there all day and they're basically a slave to it, and they're checking to make sure that they're okay. And it robs you of your life. It robs you of improving. It robs you of any possibilities at recovery. So I would drive to Walgreens or to Walmart, one of those 2 locations, to check my blood pressure. Well, guess what? The whole time I'm driving there, I'm hoping, like, please God, don't let it be high, don't let it be high. And guess what? It would pop up 140 or 150 over like 95 or 100, you know, and that's whenever I was really, really anxious. It could be higher than that. And very rarely, unless I was in the middle of sleeping or maybe early in the morning before I got moving around, would it ever be normal, right, in the normal range. And normal for me would have been like 120, 125, you know, over like maybe 75 or 80 or something, which is still technically a few notches high. But it was very rare that I would ever see that number at all. So again, 9.9 out of every 10 times I checked, it triggered me, all right? Now, for some of you, and this is kind of what I was talking about at the very beginning of this video, just not in detail, some of you get a little bit of peace, right? Some of you get a little hope whenever you check in your heart rate, and that's fine, but are you continuously going back to that over and over and over again to validate that you're healthy? If you never grow from it and fully accept and stop taking action with your vital checking, then you're not, you know, you're not improving. You're not showing your subconscious that you're healthy, that you're moving on, that you know, that everything's fine, that you're safe, that there's nothing wrong with your heart, or that you're getting enough oxygen, or that your blood pressure's fine, your heart rate's fine, it's just due to anxiety, right? You are checking it all the time just to feel a little bit of hope. So I've talked to some people, and they tell me, well Trey, actually, I actually am happy when I check and it's normal, you know? I've actually gotten some reassurance from that. Okay, that's fine. Do you still check it? Yeah. Okay, then you are strictly managing at best. You are not really telling your subconscious that things are fine. You have to see that number to let yourself know that things are okay, that you are safe. And we have to be in the business of showing our subconscious that things are okay. So checking your vitals is actually sending a mixed signal if you are wanting to recover, right? So you're waking up, you're saying all the right things, you're working on your acceptance, maybe you're working out, maybe you're eating healthy, you know, you're doing your mindfulness, maybe you're trying to do some exposure. But guess what? At 4 o'clock, you're checking your heart rate. At 5:30 in the afternoon, you're running to a place where you can check your blood pressure. And there's many forms of reassurance like this you have to get away from. Googling is another one of these things. Body scanning is another one of these things. Constantly asking everybody around you if things are okay. We have to go from external to internal. We have to stop relying on these devices that measure our vitals to determine if we're healthy, if we're not healthy, if we're, you know, if we're happy, if we're not happy, if we're scared, or if we feel secure. We have to be able to tell ourselves that things are okay and that we're fine whenever you have that itch to check. And whenever you stop checking, guys, your subconscious is going to feel naked. You're going to feel naked because you're so used to doing it. It's almost like it's a mini addiction. So you're going to feel off and you're going to feel weird when you first decide to not check your vitals. You're going to feel like you're letting yourself down almost. Your subconscious will be like, please, just let me know. Just check one time. Let us know that things are going to be okay, you know? And I think for those of you that actually get a little bit of peace and reassurance from checking, I feel like it's going to be even harder for you guys to stop, right? Because for some of you, that's the only time you feel less stressed. For me, I think it was a little bit easier for me to stop because I was unhappy every time I checked. And if it was any type of an elevated vital after I checked, it would skyrocket after that and send me into a spiral, send me into full-blown panic. So I think it was a little easier for me to get rid of that habit. But once you get rid of this habit, guess what? You have to actually start telling yourself things are okay. You have to actually start practicing internal reassurance. You know, having a positive inner dialogue with yourself. Self-love, self-comfort. You have to actually start working on yourself and rewiring, you know? But you're not doing that if you're constantly checking every day. So regardless, if it's giving you some peace or some reassurance, it's holding you back from full 100% recovery. If you feel like it helps you manage and you're cool with doing that the rest of your life, again, power to you and fair enough. But if you want to recover, especially if you have health anxiety, it's in my belief that you're never going to achieve that as long as you are consistently checking your vitals. The same thing goes for Googling. The same thing goes for constant body scanning. And now we'll go ahead and throw this out there. If you haven't been checked by a doctor at all, you need to do that, right? I'm talking to people who have been checked and that have been tested and have been told that they have anxiety, and they're wanting to recover from anxiety and accept that anxiety is what's causing their elevated vitals. If you haven't been checked, you need to stop watching this video and make an appointment. You know, heart symptoms and stuff like that, chest pains, I don't mind if this scares you. It's nothing to play around with. So if you've never gotten checked, then you need to get checked. This video is for those of you that have been checked and you've been told probably even multiple times that this is anxiety and that's what's causing your symptoms. All right, so I'll throw that out there. But if you've been told and you're wanting to accept and you're wanting to move forward, stop sending mixed signals by checking your vitals multiple times a day. And I know it's going to be hard when you stop. You're going to feel naked. Just like if you drink coffee every single day and you decide randomly to quit one day. It's going to be difficult. It's not going to be super simple. If that addiction or, you know, the actual habit is causing you pain and misery, yeah, it'll be a little bit easier to quit. That's why those of you that have a little bit of peace or get a little bit of reassurance from checking your vitals all the time, it's going to be even more difficult for you, all right? But just realize your subconscious is never going to take you seriously if you keep doing that, okay? So if you want your subconscious to believe you whenever you say, hey, we're healthy, this is anxiety, I accept, well, then stop turning right around and sending a mixed signal later in the day by checking your vitals, by checking your blood pressure, by checking your blood sugar, you know, by checking your oxygen levels. I know a lot of people are doing that ever since COVID happened. I never really used to hear a lot about people checking oxygen levels, and then COVID happened. It seems that's like one of the main things, you know, I'm seeing is blood pressure, heart rate, oxygen. We have to get away from checking. It's sending mixed signals. It's showing that we still don't know whether or not we're healthy or not. We still don't know whether or not this is anxiety or if it's not. That's why acceptance is so huge to even get the recovery process rolling. So I hope this video helped out a little bit. Maybe it was straightforward, maybe a little bit of tough love, but hey, I think we need that sometimes. Again, if full recovery is not something you're trying to attain right now, then and it gives you a little bit of peace, then do your thing. But if you're trying to fully recover, especially if you have health anxiety and you're not quitting these things, I'm just here to tell you the truth. It's going to be very difficult, if not impossible, to recover if you're doing that. All right, so understand that it's very, very serious. It is a serious issue. We want to do everything else right. We want to do all the easy stuff, but the hardest things, guys, are actually, you know, the things that are going to set us free. All right, so you can apply the same thing to Googling, body scanning. I'll make separate videos for those, but just understand I had a severe problem with this. It ran my life for 2.5 years, you know, at least for the period of time that I had my heart anxiety and cardiophobia. It was a daily habit that I had, and things actually started to get a lot better whenever I stopped checking. It's just amazing how that works, right? People come to me all the time and they tell me, you know, or they ask me, Trey, what are some things I can do to help me with my anxiety? Well, let's start with the things that you can stop doing today. How about that? Things to get rid of that'll actually help you detoxify your environment and give you an environment that's conducive for recovery. You know, you don't want your environment corrupted with mixed signals and vital checking and Googling and asking for constant external reassurance and all these things, right? We have to work on reassuring ourselves through our inner dialogue, our self-talk, our self-love, our self-comfort. For some of you, that's when you have these thoughts and desires, you go exercise to reinforce the fact that you are healthy, that you got through that workout. For some of you, it's, you know, maybe it's even things like grounding or cold water therapy or breathing or mindfulness. Everybody has their different things that work best for them. But take action whenever you feel the need to check, okay? But guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Remember, if you are interested in recovery, you want to know how I did it, please go check out Elite Anxiety Bootcamp in the description and in the first pinned comment. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I enjoyed this one. I'll be talking to you guys tomorrow Also, online therapy is down below. My coaching info is down below. A lot of resources. Check all that out. And until the next time, guys, keep fighting. I love you all.